We go for
Not the car monologue.
raid.
Wait, what?
We go on raid.
Ooh, raid time. Looks
Like, I
good,
can't
Bean.
reload
Looks good.
sometimes.
My options are not a lot, but
Thanks
I
for.
guess
Oh
we
wait,
go.
does you have infinite ammo on?
I do have
Right.
someone in mind, but let's see if I have other options.
In just a moment, X minus 1, but first... Tonight's story, Jaywalker, by Ross Rocklin. Tonight's story, Jaywalker, by Ross Rocklin.
Intergalactic flight number 14 now loading at ramp 10. Intergalactic flight number 14 now loading at ramp 10. Please have your flight validation.
You walk from the waiting room down the long ramp number 10. The flight pack is in one hand, the validation papers, and you walk from the waiting room down the long ramp number behind you. The flight pack in one hand, the validation papers. A cylinder of glistening silver aimed at the moon. You feel yourself carried up the moving stair to the gaping entrance lock. A pretty stewardess in a blue uniform smiles at you.
Hey, what's up?
Papers, please? Your papers, madam. Oh, papers? Oh, yes, here they are. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Marcia Foster. You feeling well, Miss Foster? Yes, quite well, thank you. We have to make sure.
Do you hear me now?
Once in a while, somebody slips aboard with another person's validation papers. What difference would it make if I felt well or not? Great deal.
I just got the chat open, John.
The effect of a free fall in space without gravity can do quite a bit of damage in certain glandular conditions. I see you've passed your physical.
Testing
yes,
1, 2, 3.
All right. Fine. Have a nice trip. The seat number is 15. Next, please. You walk down the carpeted aisle to the plastic-on seat. Her words make a ringing pattern in your brain. Are you feeling well, Mrs. Foster? Mrs. Foster's feeling quite well, thank you. Mrs. Foster has passed her physical examination. There's only one thing wrong with the picture. You are not Mrs. Foster. Attention, please. Attention. In 1 minute, the flash walls will be raised around the ship. If for any reason a passenger is not feeling well or does not wish to make the trip, please speak up. 1 minute. You begin to wonder if you ought to go after all. You begin to think of how it happened. Why you're here, sitting in this silver vessel, waiting to blast off for the moon. What happened between you and Jack? What happened?
Honey, I'm back.
Jack, oh, darling. Oh,
You miss me?
did I miss you? Oh,
I brought you a little present from the moon.
what is it?
Open it and see.
All right, I will.
Try it on.
Oh, beautiful.
Took us 2 hours to pick it out.
Us?
Oh, me and Sue. Sue Egan.
Well, who's she?
The stewardess on the ship.
Oh? How long has she been on the Earth-Moon run?
Just about a year now.
Funny you never mentioned her.
Oh, haven't I? well, what's the difference?
It just seems odd.
Hey.
What?
Well, you're not jealous, are you?
Is she pretty?
Oh, monstrous. 4 feet high and 3 feet around. And she has a big blue eye right in the middle of her forehead.
Oh, you're insane.
Come on, how about a kiss?
No.
Hey, lady, I've been away for 4 months.
Sorry?
I guess I'll just have to go back to Sue Egan and her 3 blue
Oh,
eyes.
in that case. Here.
I have been away a long time.
Jack, I want to talk to you about that.
Okay. But could it wait till tonight? I am taking you to dinner, Mrs. McLean.
I'd rather talk about it now.
Okay.
You there, John? Can you hear me
Jack,
now?
we've been married for 6 years now.
Is it that long?
7 in July. For the last 2, you've been skippering that rocket to the moon.
I know.
3 weeks at a time, with only a week in between.
Well, I do get a month vacation
Jack,
besides.
that is no kind of life.
Masha, I don't know what I can do about
You
it.
haven't tried to do anything about it.
I guess you're right.
Do you intend to try?
Marcia,
But I need to know.
Marcia, flying is my whole life.
But it isn't mine. I'm not going to spend 3 weeks out of 4 sitting here wondering if you'll come back alive.
Oh, now that's ridiculous.
Is it? What about my father who died on the Elsinore when it missed Mars?
Your father died as the result of a space maneuver that no pilot in his right mind would try.
They missed the planet. That could happen to anybody.
They missed it because they...
In just a moment, X minus 1. But first, a quiz program does not always improve your IQ. But when it's an NBC radio quiz program, you can be sure it will improve your disposition. Yes, NBC offers listeners a laugh session every Wednesday night with 2 fun-filled question and answer
What time are we
shows.
going to get the honor of your presence, buddy?
And though you may never learn why a chicken crosses the road...
Oh, Clem. Hey, Clem. I thought
you
you were John.
By MC Jack Bailey.
My brain's not working yet. It's too early.
A quizmaster like Groucho Marx, Jack Bailey.
You should have access to all that stuff now.
With a quizmaster like Groucho Marx, your good time is always guaranteed. Hear Truth or Consequences, and you bet your life tomorrow. Now stay tuned for X minus 1 on NBC. X minus 1 in 1 minute. This week is Military Reserve Week. If you're a young man between the ages of 17 and 18 and a half, you can fulfill your military obligation with only 6 months of active duty. You need no longer ask yourself, when will I be drafted? By joining the 6-month reserve training program, you become draft exempt and can plan your future with confidence. You are paid for your service while in training. You may be able to pick the exact job you want depending upon your aptitudes and Army vacancies. You may enlist in the program and then receive a deferment until you have finished high school. Your training will teach you to protect yourself and your family in any emergency. The training builds you physically, and the technical skills you learn can help you later in your civilian career. There are many other big advantages for you in the 6-month training program. Visit your Army Reserve Center for all the facts about your big opportunity in the 6-month training program. Learn how you can plan your future with confidence.
The book says, when the ship shall enter into the orbital pool of its destination, the motors will change in sound due to the increased anti-gravity component. A study is being made to interpret the meaning of the word destination, which was lost some 4,000 years ago and has always been a subject for much controversy. But this need not concern you. Suffice to be reassured that the change in the sound of the motors is a part of the scheme of things. Return to the schedule. The ship is all. Praise the ship. The ship is all. Praise the ship.
I'm trying to find where I'm at in these,
Now stay tuned for X minus
broadcast.
C.
This is all. Proceed through the green door to the psychometric.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Yeah, Vuvi and I have similar taste.
Tonight, the Frank Quattrocchi story, Sea Legs.
I stood in line at the Grav 1 desk with the old knocked service record and tapes in my hand and waited for the board processing clerk to speak. The clerk seemed utterly indifferent to the excitement of the men in the line. I wondered how long he'd been out here on this godforsaken Zone 5 planet.
Next. Name?
Robert Craig.
Occupation?
Flight officer.
Destination?
Earth.
Earth?
Anything wrong with that?
I guess not. How long since you've been on Earth, Mr. Craig?
Well, I've never been there. My parents left during the second colonization of Cassiopeia. I was born there.
Have you ever been in a gravity system?
Well, just briefly. Under drugs, of course.
You'll have to go through the gravity conditioning course.
Yes, so I was told.
Proceed to the airlock chamber on your right and follow the robot's orders. Good luck. You may need it. Next.
I went into the chamber and stripped off my clothing while the robot droned its orders.
Remove all metal objects from your person. Place them in the plastic tube at your left. Now stand underneath the decontamination tube. Press the button with your right foot. This is all. Proceed through the green door to the psychometric section. Please respond quickly to orders, and so to not impede the progress of others. Next, please.
The door to the psychometric section led into a pleasant but cold-looking room with a single metal desk. A man with a balding, high forehead sat behind the desk.
Mr. Craig, have a seat. I'm Captain Wyandotte, the psychological officer.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, well, let's see your records. You list your destination as Terra. You're certain you wish to go to Earth?
Of course I'm certain.
You're somewhat aggressive, Mr. Craig.
Look, I've been standing in line taking orders from clerks and robots for 6 hours. Every time somebody sees that I'm headed for Earth, I get the fisheye. Are they jealous or what?
I hardly think so. You've been a spaceman for 16 years, Mr. Craig. You've been zooming around in the countergraph systems in the outer galaxies without any restraints or self-discipline.
Have you ever spent 6 weeks strapped into a grav seat on a space rocket, Captain? There's a good deal of self-discipline involved in that.
I think you will find things on Terra require a different kind of self-discipline, Mr. Craig.
Well, I'm pretty much aware of what it's like.
Are you? I suppose you've heard all the popularizations in the tape zines. Well, Mr. Craig, let me give you a word of caution. It's going to be vastly different.
I'm prepared for that, Captain. Can we get going?
Naturally. You will undergo a 20-day conditioning course.
20 days?
Mr. Craig, you've been in space 16 years. Your body is conditioned to a normal state of free fall, or at best to acceleration. The return to gravity would kill you if you weren't prepared for it.
All right, what do I do?
Report to Centrifugal Department. Here are your papers. Oh, and Mr. Craig.
Yes?
Centrifugal is a rather trying ordeal. If during the course of treatment you should change your mind about returning to Earth, you're free to do so.
Thanks. I won't. I'd heard about centrifugal, but you can never really know about these things until you experience them. 4 times a day, we were whirled around until it seemed as if our insides were too big for our bodies. On the 12th day, it got to be too much for me. I was in the base hospital for 5 days. My roommate was an old space bum they'd brought in to die with a case of ruptured veins. His name was Charlie Brockman.
How you feel, son?
I'm pretty good, Charlie.
You get discharged tomorrow, I hear. You gonna try it again?
I guess so.
Why?
Only way I'll ever get to Earth.
You really want to go?
That's right.
You talked to anybody been there last 10 years or so?
No, you don't get to talk to many people from Earth and the galaxies. Were you ever there?
Me? Now, what would an old space bum like me be doing on Terra?
Well, I just thought maybe...
I done most of my time in Zone 5. Out there, you get to thinking anybody who stays less than 80 light years from Earth is a landlubber.
Yeah, I used to think the same. Then I took the exam for a job back on Earth, and I passed it.
I used to think I'd like to go back. But space was exciting, you know. New and raw. It tugged at your guts, and it sent the blood rushing through your veins. But it was free. No bureaucrat ever lasted 6 months in Grav 5.
I had enough hitting atmospheres all over the universe, old man.
Maybe you're right. Lean over here, will you? Unbutton my pajama top, will you?
Okay.
There's a chain around my neck. Got a little message capsule on it.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Do me a favor, huh? Take it with you when you go back to Terra. But don't open it till you're on the ship.
Okay, Charlie.
And, son.
Yes?
I lied to you. I have been back to Terra. I faked some papers and made a landing there 6 months ago.
What are you doing back here?
I had to leave in a hurry.
Why?
You'll find out, son. Good luck.
Charlie died the next day. A few hours later, I was visited by Captain Wyandotte, the psych officer.
How are you feeling, Craig?
Okay.
You still want to go back to Earth?
Yes.
You're completely sure you want to live out your life there, to give up space service for it?
Look, we've gone through this, Captain. Now, you tell me that spacemen don't settle down on Terra, yet you won't or you can't tell me why. All right, what's the pitch? Does the Space Service need men so badly that they have to make it impossible for us to go back?
That, Mr. Craig, you will have to discover for yourself. You have my authorization to complete your conditioning and return to Earth as a private citizen. I wish you luck. You'll need all you can get.
Somehow I managed to survive the torments for 18 days. I was ready to return to Earth. A month later, I descended from a huge intergalactic jet at Los Angeles Spaceport. I was dead tired from the trip. I checked in at the nearest inexpensive hotel.
Oh, this is your room, sir.
Just put the bags down, will you? I'll unpack myself.
Yes, sir. Just back from outer space, sir?
Yeah, that's right. How could you tell?
Sea legs.
Sea legs?
Well, the way you walk. You can tell when somebody's been in the low-grav systems.
Oh, here.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Craig. For another 5 units, I'll tell you where it is.
Where what is?
Oh, the mic.
Mike?
Okay, make it 3 units. I won't hold you up.
You mean a microphone?
Yeah, that's right. They wanted to put screens in, but the boss convinced them there ain't any Freedomites, so they stay here.
Freedomites?
Not so loud. You want to get control?
No. Here's the money. Where is it?
It's in the bed illuminator. You can short it with a razor blade.
Thanks.
You, want any sensation tapes?
What are they?
I don't know, mental image stuff. Oh, boy, you've been away from Terra a long time.
Wait a minute, before you go, son.
Yeah?
Where's the minerals building? I have to report there for a job interview.
Oh, it's in the government cluster. 5th level at X and 2nd.
Thanks. I'll want breakfast about 8 o'clock.
Well, I'll need your ISS units.
My what?
Your ration units.
I don't have any ration units.
You have your ident card?
Look, I just got here an hour ago.
Oh. Well, you better go see the Civil Control Board tomorrow. If you want to eat, that is.
All right, where do I find the control board?
Government cluster. But don't worry. If you don't find them, they'll find you. I went to sleep that night with the uneasy feeling that somebody was watching me. It had been a weird day. I hadn't exactly liked it. Well, I told myself it figured that there'd be more formalities and rigmarole on Earth than there were out in the systems, especially at first. Still, I couldn't get the idea of the concealed microphone out of my mind.
You may relax, Mr. Craig. You are Mr. Craig.
Yes, Robert Craig.
You aren't nervous, are you?
No. This is my first time before the control board, and, well, it's my first time.
Flight officer, huh? Somewhat unusual for a vigorous young man like yourself abandoning space service, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it?
Leaving something behind, Mr. Craig?
No.
You don't like this sort of affair, do you, Mr. Craig?
Well, I'm afraid I don't quite see its necessity. I served the intergalactic service well. My records prove it.
It's enough impertinence, Mr. Craig. Answer the questions. You are a Terran?
Yes.
Where are your loyalties?
I don't understand.
Your first loyalties are to Intergalactic, is that right?
Is there a distinction?
Do you wish to be held in contempt of this board?
Of course not.
Then you will confine your responses to simple yes answers. Now, Mr. Craig, we shall begin again. Please try to show restraint of emotion. You are here to petition for an identity card of provisional code 2 type. You maintain that you've never been on Terra before. Indeed, you state that you've never had a political affiliation.
Yes.
What are your reactions to the latest acts of the Liberal Party?
I have none.
You do not condemn the Liberal Party?
Well,
Then you must favor it.
I don't know anything about it.
Now then, Mr. Craig. The import service report shows that you passed your test aboard your ship. You were unable to accomplish this through night study.
Yes.
Yet you maintain in your application that you had considered the space service a career.
I changed my mind.
Oh, you changed your mind. I see. I see, too, that you've petitioned the board for a private means of conveyance. Why do you wish to own your own transportation vehicle?
To make it easier to get around, I report to my job. And
what job?
I passed the exam for the import service. I report today.
Where are you living, Mr. Craig?
At the Star Hotel.
Very well. You'll wait outside in the waiting room until you're called again.
I waited about 2 hours in the porcelainized waiting room of the Civil Control Board. Then I was called over to the clerk's desk at a small window. He stamped some cards for me.
Craig,
Here.
here's your stuff. Class 1 provisional ident card. Sign it and fingerprint it. Don't lose it. If you do, you'll be picked up by the control agents.
I petitioned for a Class 2 card.
You get a Class 1. This entitles you to maintain an apartment in the lower level of the Beverly Project. Here's your clothing ration. You'll have to turn in that leather flight jacket.
No, wait a minute. I had this made on Chuan. Listen, I can remove the insignia.
That is not the point. Your clothing ration is defined by law. There are no exceptions. This is your food ration.
What's all this medical stuff on the card?
You are rationed fairly in accordance with your particular metabolism.
Oh, you're kidding.
I do not kid, Mr. Craig.
Well, what about a car?
Oh, gotcha.
I asked to be allowed to buy a car.
I see. Your petition to be permitted to purchase a private means of transportation is hereby denied.
You got it working out, Clem?
I walked out of the control board feeling like a man who has just come out of free fall into a hypergravity system. Instead of reporting to the import service for my initial job interview, I walked around the city. I don't know how long I walked, maybe an hour, maybe two. After a while, I came to the outskirts of old Los Angeles. There was a big fence around it and the usual signs. Radioactivity. Beware. It was just a pile of rubble and twisted girders. I looked at it for a while and then turned around and headed for the intergalactic freight office.
So you figure you made a mistake.
Yeah, that's right. You don't hear much about Terra out there.
And you want me to sign you back into Intergalactic?
Yes.
You got any character references?
No, not here on Earth, but I can post a good-sized bond if they'll release my ISS unit.
What's your rating?
I can handle anything up to 15 G's acceleration on my old license.
You got a Terran contract with import service, you said?
I haven't started work yet.
Look, kid. Mr. Craig, is it? How long you been on Earth?
2 days.
So you're a spaceman. Flight officer, ex-flight officer. You know how to navigate through 4-star zones and the asteroid belt thrown in. You got a license for 15 G's, could get 5 more with a check flight. You got enough brains to pass the import senior router's exam. But you ain't got enough sense to come in out of the rain. We get guys like you every day. You're hot, you're big, you're raring to go. But you ain't gone nowhere.
I'm listening.
I don't know how you got here, Craig. Maybe you did quit honorable, or maybe you went and burned up a colony someplace.
That would be in my records.
The point is, it don't make any difference. Nobody leaves Terra without a permit. Nobody gets a permit to go back to space once he hits this old apple.
Why not? Are you afraid somebody will tell what it's like?
Oh, son, you got things to learn. One is you don't go shooting off your mouth. Another is Terra's changed a lot since the radioactive wars. We're going places, doing things. Big places, big things. You've got to fit into that, kid. Move with it. Stick around. You still got your sea legs. You're gonna like it here. You can make a quick dollar and spend it quick, too. But you'd better smarten up, or you'll finish scrubbing radioactive dust off girders.
That's the story, huh? The whole story?
That's it. Everything runs by a system. And, son, you can't buck the system.
I don't suppose there's any place around here a guy could get a quick drink.
Oh, yeah, out at the end of Y Street, they got a little place you can buy Acadian tars. Plutos, they call it.
Thanks.
Yeah, get it out of your system and then settle down. That's my advice.
Thanks. So long.
Get me the control agent. He just left here. He's on his way to the Pluto Cafe.
Hey, waiter, bring me another drink for the young lady. Now then, where were we?
I don't know. In fact, I still don't know why you're buying me free drinks.
I told you I want somebody to talk to.
You a purist? Or maybe you don't like the brand of sensation tapes they're peddling these days.
No, you don't have a bad face, really, underneath the makeup. I mean, it's a little crooked, but it ain't bad, really.
Thanks. Does me pretty good.
What's your name?
Gloria?
Oh, sure, I remember. Gloria!
Maybe you had enough to drink.
No, not yet. You know, I look around, I see all these people with their faces all froze up like plastic. And I feel like I got to know somebody, or I go out of my mind. So what happens? Everybody is afraid. I mean, what happened? Whatever happened to freedom? What's the matter? Did I say something? What's everybody so quiet about all of a sudden?
Okay. Come with me.
Hey, well, who are you?
Control board agent.
Hey, I wasn't with him. Honest, he just picked me up and brought me a drink and started shooting off his mouth. I wasn't with him.
Let's go, Mac.
Wait a minute, what for?
You'll find that out. Come on. On your feet.
Okay, Carl, keep your hands off. I'll go with this.
Everybody else just mind your own business. You, girlie.
Yeah?
Let's see your ident card.
Here.
You live at this address?
Yeah?
Alone?
With my sister.
Maybe some nights you could go to a movie or something. We could spend some time getting acquainted.
Yeah. Yeah, sometime.
Good, I'll call you.
Hey, I need my dent card back. I can't get rations without it.
I'll keep it. Bring it back myself.
Who wants to give the girl her card? No!
Well, maybe you mind your own business. Let's go. You walk just a little in front of me.
He was a big man, maybe 250 pounds, and he shuffled when he walked. He'd hit me right across the right shoulder with a sort of rubber truncheon. Now it began to ache. We're walking along a sort of back street. Everywhere in the universe there were such streets. Streets where you could find freedom in anonymity, a compromise between lawlessness and law. They are permitted by the authorities because it is necessary to have a place for those who are not permitted elsewhere.
Okay, step into the doorway. Hurry up, you fool. We're being followed.
Well, we're followed by whom?
Don't ask questions. Who's you told?
Don't I have any rights?
You got the right to get hit over the head unless you do what you're told. Now, quick. Come in. In here. Hurry.
Hey, who are they shooting at, you or me?
Both of us. Down these steps.
Stop! Stop or we'll fire!
Through this door. Now, duck behind that pillar. Don't make a sound.
You see them?
I'm Trey!
Come on, they probably slipped out.
Walk through the tunnel behind you. One false move and you're finished. Go on.
From the direction of the tunnel, I guessed it was part of an old sewage system that led toward the ruined city. I don't know how long we walked, maybe an hour. Finally, we came to a small wooden door.
Stop here. Okay, let's have it.
What? Have what?
The tube.
I don't know what you mean.
Our detectives picked it up on you the minute you got off the plane. You're carrying a radioactive message tube with a periodic emission signal. I'll need to have it before we can go any further.
You mean the tube that old Charlie gave me?
Old Charlie?
Yes, Charlie Brockman. The old spaceman who was in the hospital with me.
Where is it?
I think it's in my pocket. I never even bothered to open it.
Do it now.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Open it.
It's empty.
That's right. The message is in the tube itself. We identify our people by the radioactive pattern.
Our people?
You'll see.
Come in. Make it fast.
This the one? This is the one. He's been drugged. He's had PON. A massive dose at the Pluto.
Good. Mr. Craig, my name's Cocteau. This is Mr. Brannigan. You're probably quite bewildered about all this. Let me clarify the situation. You're now in the headquarters of the Freedomites, underneath the radioactive part of old Los Angeles. Mr. Brannigan is not a control agent. He's one of our men. We've been watching you ever since we detected the message tube as your ship was approaching Earth.
Now, wait a minute. You guys are Freedomites?
That's right.
You're pretty illegal, aren't you?
Let's say our lives aren't worth a snap of your fingers if we're caught.
All right, who are you? Where are you from?
Most of us are from the same place you're from, outer space. Many of us had the same history you have. We shipped into Earth and became disillusioned and went to the intergalactic freight office to apply for a job. The man at the office, the man who made the speech about coming in out of the rain, is one of our agents.
Aren't you taking a chance telling me all this?
Not at all. At the Pluto, you were given a massive dose of PON. You won't remember anything that happened to you after the drug hits you in an hour or so. It works like a shock. Everything will be repressed into the unconscious.
Oh, I see. Very neat.
It will exist in your unconscious, however. Somewhere, because you're the kind of man you are, because living in space has taught you the blessing of feeling free, you'll be able to draw upon your unconscious knowledge when you need to.
And when will that be, Mr. Cocteau?
That depends on whether you decide to join us or not.
Join you in what? I haven't the faintest idea of what you're trying to do. For all I know, you're a bunch of traitors. You know, I've heard this comes the revolution stuff before.
My friend, you're woefully ignorant of our aims, as is to be expected. We anticipate no revolution. We print no leaflets, publish no newspaper, and we have no world plan for conquest. The kind of totalitarian mind which subscribes to tight economic systems like the ancient Marxism of the communists is abhorrent to us. We're interested in only one thing, the preservation of the idea of freedom. Our fear is that men will forget what it's like to feel free.
Well, how do you expect to accomplish this?
Our concepts are being kept alive in only one place in the universe today.
Outer space?
Exactly. On the frontiers of the universe, where freedom is a condition of life and growth.
Suppose I join you. How can I help?
You're an experienced pilot. We have enough connections to do some plastic surgery on your face and get you a position piloting a spaceship again. You'll remember nothing of your mission. But you will remember that you have been back to Earth, what it was like. You'll be able, carefully, of course, to tell people, to help keep the idea of freedom alive. Think it over carefully. You have 20 minutes before the drug takes effect.
I don't need 20 minutes. I'll do it.
Good. In exactly 48 hours, you'll wake up in your hotel bed with a new face, the identity card of a man named Harold Janus. You'll not remember how you got them or why, but you'll know what to do with his identity. He is, or was, master navigator on the Earth-Mars run. Good luck, Mr. Craig.
I woke up in the hotel bed, feeling like a man who has hung one on, but good. I looked into the mirror and I saw the face of another man. I looked in my wallet and discovered that I was Harold Janus, navigator for Intergalactic, holder of a license for 15 Gs. I wondered where it came from, how I got it, but I asked no questions. This license, this ident card, meant freedom. I walked out of the hotel feeling steady for the first time. I'd gotten my sea legs at last.
You have just heard X-1 presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Venus Trap by Evelyn E. Smith. One thing man never planned to take along into space with him was the eternal triangle, especially a true blue triangle like this one. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Sea Legs,
A story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Frank Petrocchi and adapted for...
In just a moment, X-1. But first, one quality belies his name is Quizmaster Groucho Marx, because Mr. Marx is hardly one of the grouchy kind when it comes to welcoming guests and dispensing good humor on his Wednesday night quiz show, You Bet Your Life. Why don't you tune in and hear for yourself tomorrow? While you're listening, don't forget that each Wednesday night there's more great entertainment when Jack Bailey and contestants play Truth or Consequences. And all of the staff on Airtime join stars Giselle McKenzie in bringing you top musical listening. Enjoy music and fun tomorrow night on this station. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the dramatization of a story by Jerry Soule, The Seventh Order. Brentwood, Illinois, would have been just about like any other average community of 10,000 had it not been for Presser College, one of the country's finest small institutions of learning. Its residents were used to the pranks, the hazings, and the practical jokes of the students. But even Professor Ansel Tomlin was surprised when the blue humanoid came down the street and up to the porch where the professor was sitting in an old wicker rocking chair.
Pardon me.
Of course.
You are Professor Ansel Tomlin.
Yes, and you, I take it, are somebody from one of my psychology classes dressed up as a sort of a robot.
No. I am George of Xanthar.
Who?
I am here to learn all I possibly can learn of the planet Earth and its inhabitants. Less than 10 minutes ago, I landed not far from here in a spaceship, which I subsequently blew up and destroyed.
Now, let me explain. I am Tomlin of Brentwood. Less than 10 minutes ago, I was sitting on my porch peacefully marking exam papers. I intend to resume right now. Helen, would you get the phone?
It is your wife's sister calling with reference to the explosion of my spaceship.
Sure it is.
She merely wants to ascertain that your family was not affected.
Listen, George, be a good fellow and...
Oh, Mike.
Well, don't be alarmed, dear. It's a fraternity initiation or something.
Oh, well, it does look like the real thing. Oh, did you know there was an explosion outside of town?
An explosion?
Yes, blast of undetermined origin is what they said on the radio.
Oh?
My sister just called. She heard about it in the local station and wanted to make sure we were all right.
I see.
Well, I have something in the oven. My goodness, that's a wonderful costume.
Her sister lives 20 miles away. How did you know she'd call?
My mind circuits are telepathic. They pick up all conscious thought to a distance of some 200 miles.
It couldn't be you arranged the whole thing, that it wasn't really her sister. How did you get here? Who or what are you?
I am a machine. The finest, most complicated machine ever made. I have a rather unique history, too.
Who made you?
Ages ago, on Xanthar, there was a race of humans. They made the first robots. Rather crude affairs. We class them as first-order robots. They are still used for menial tasks to some extent.
And what order are you?
The highest, naturally. A seventh-order robot. Or rather, a humanoid. We are the first in which there is not an automatic. No harm to humans come on.
I begin to see.
You will become aware of the fact that I am superior to you and to the rest of your race. I need no oxygen. I am never ill. I need no sleep. Every experience is indelibly recorded on circuits and is instantly available.
Tell me, George, do you have feelings?
I have an electronically controlled endocrine balance.
Very interesting. And what is your mission here on Earth?
For the moment, I am here to study. I will live with you until it is complete.
You will what?
I will live with you. I will be with you all of your waking hours. While you sleep, I will go through your library. I need nothing. I want
Now, just a moment. What about my privacy?
When you desire privacy, I will study someone else. Your wife, perhaps. The female should be interested.
George, old man, I'm terribly sorry, but you'll have to wire back to your masters to make other arrangements.
That will be quite impossible.
Really?
You see, I have no master.
Well, what about those humans back in Xantha, the ones who invented you seventh-order humanoids?
Oh, they are all quite dead. We destroyed them.
Destroyed?
You look alarmed. It was, after all, they or us. You see, our endocrine system permits us pride in ourselves. Naturally, being proud of ourselves, we objected to being ordered about in an incompetent way.
So, you killed them?
Exactly. Now, shall we go inside and inform your wife of my visit?
Suppose I refuse.
Professor, do you see that small dog playing on the lawn across the street?
Yes.
I will lift my arm and point at it. Observe.
It vaporized.
Exactly. Now then, shall we go in?
Yes. We'll go in.
Oh, there you are. I see you brought your friend.
Helen, this is George. George of Xanthar. George is a machine.
Well, anybody can see that. It's the most convincing costume I ever saw.
Helen, it isn't a costume.
No?
No. He's really a machine.
Oh.
He's staying with us.
What?
Whether we like it or not.
Well, really, Ansel.
We have no choice.
I am a seventh-order humanoid. I detect that your mind does not comprehend. I am here as an advanced scout for my race. After we establish a station here on Earth...
I don't like this. Now, would you be kind enough to leave my house, young man?
You are very slow to comprehend.
I comprehend that I have a lot to do, and I'd appreciate it if you leave. Otherwise, I'm going to call the police.
You may call anyone you choose, Mrs. Thompson.
I'll have you arrested.
I assure you I can detect your intention long before you have time to do me any harm.
Well, we'll just see about this. Hello? Get me the police.
Helen, it's useless.
I can follow the call through the phone wire. Captain Townsend will answer.
Captain Townsend.
Captain, I want to report a robot.
A what?
A thing. It won't leave my house.
Who is this?
I'm Mrs. Tomlin, Professor Ansel Tomlin's wife, 44 Crescent Road.
I'll send a car over.
Now we'll see.
Is this the character that's been giving you trouble?
Yes, this is the one, officer.
Talked to you before about ruining the flower bed, Sonny. This time I'm taking you in.
I would advise you not to touch me. I cannot risk any damage.
I'll see about that. Come on outside.
I prefer to remain here until I complete my mission.
You do, huh? You know what this is?
It is a weapon you call a service revolver.
That's right. And you'll either march out of here or I'll use it on you.
That would be most unfortunate.
All right, come on.
Officer, let me warn you. He's
March.
dangerous.
March now. I'll count to 3.
Officer, please.
1, 2.
Oh, no.
I regret it, but he was actually going to pull the trigger. Only to frighten me. But I cannot risk damage. He might have miscalculated and struck me with a bullet.
Ansel, I'm frightened.
There is no need for fear. You have only to accept the fact that the Seventh Order is coming to operate the planet for your benefit.
Ansel.
Helen, there's no use trying to do anything just yet. Go next door to Mrs. Coleman. Tell her what's happened. I'll talk to George.
Oh, but I don't...
Please, Helen?
All right.
Do you really think that you A single robot can conquer the Earth and make its people do your bidding?
I can.
Suppose it were demonstrated to you that you could not, that you could be destroyed.
If that was so, I would naturally report that this planet is unfit for development by the Seventh Order.
Well, you know they'll have you taken into custody for killing the officer.
I cannot permit it.
There will be needless slaughter.
Unless you can convince your people it is useless to attack you.
Will you let me try?
I have no desire to prevent you. Go ahead. I detect that you are going to call the newspapers and the local television station and hold a press conference.
Yes.
I also detect that you have a plan to overcome it.
Oh?
I like that.
Really?
Yes. You see, in order to test this planet for development, I must know whether any of you are truly dangerous. You are a superior type of man, Professor. I welcome any plan to conquer me that you care to attempt.
Okay, George. At least we know where we stand. I'll phone the newspapers.
Quiet! Quiet, please! Quiet!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Henry Bennett, broadcasting from a sound truck parked in front of the home of Professor Ansel Tomlin in Brentwood, Illinois. At the moment, Professor Tomlin is seated on his front porch. Next to him is a strange-looking blue robot-type creature, also seated on a chair. At the moment, we don't know if this is a hoax or not, but Professor Tomlin, a highly respected man here at the university, has called a press conference to introduce what is supposedly a creature from another planet. Professor Tomlin is about to speak, and we'll try to catch his words.
Quiet, please. Gentlemen, I wish to present to you George of Xanthar. Yes, now, just a moment. George is a machine. Probably the most dangerous machine ever invented. He is telepathic as well. He can read your thoughts like a book. He knows exactly what each of you is thinking at this very instant.
Professor!
Yes?
Do you expect us to swallow this nonsense?
Not without proof, gentlemen.
Can George do his stuff for us? Let him tell me what I'm thinking right now.
You are thinking about a blonde young woman named Laura, with whom you will attend a show tonight.
Come on.
Well,
he happens to be right, but we've seen mind readers before. Let him do something else.
Now, I did not call you gentlemen here for a demonstration of magic. I called you here in the hope that a good deal of needless bloodshed might be avoided. Less than half an hour ago, I watched this creature completely vaporize a policeman who was trying to arrest him. I expect that the authorities will be here any minute. I hope I can convince you and them that it is futile.
Either you're nuts or you think we are. I don't believe this machine killed a cop. If a cop was killed, a human did it, trying to blame it on the machine.
Now, gentlemen, I don't know how I can prove it. Oh, perhaps if George will demonstrate his ability to vaporize...
Observe the oak tree in the front yard. Now.
Now, do you see?
I see, but I don't believe it. Boys, this is some kind of mass hypnotism. Maybe the tree was rigged up in advance.
I swear to you
This George of Xanthar is all he's cracked up to be. Let's see what he does when I toss a rock at him.
Don't be a fool.
Here goes, George!
Stop him! I warned you. I tried to warn you.
Okay, everybody stand back. Stand back. Charlie, get that automatic rifle set up. Check, Chief. Professor, I advise you to step away from that weapon.
Captain, for your own sake, don't try anything.
Step away, Professor.
Very well, but I warn you.
Okay, now don't fire till I'm ready, boys.
Right.
Now then, George of what's this? We don't know who's inside that tin suit, but I'm giving you just 10 seconds to come out of it.
Captain,
Hey, you're wanted on suspicion of murder. Now come out. All right, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we'll have to terminate our broadcast. What started out as a good-natured hoax or publicity stunt has turned into a bloody massacre, as the bodies of some 6 policemen on the lawn of Professor Tomlin's home will attest. I don't know exactly what is happening here, but I can say this: George of Xanthar is no hoax. He or it is the spearhead of a race from outer space that's come to conquer the Earth.
Have they all gone, Helen?
Yes,
Where is he?
in your library, reading.
Are the policemen still outside the house?
They're walking up and down. Oh, I hope they
Yeah,
don't.
they have orders not to try to harm him.
Ansel,
Yes.
what are we going to do?
I don't know.
Oh, listen. He's coming.
Professor, Mrs. Tomlin, I have decided to walk through your town to learn more about its buildings.
And kill a few more humans?
Killing humans affords me no pleasure whatsoever. I kill only when damage to myself is possible. I hope that no one will attempt to harm me.
George, let me warn you now that this affair has gone beyond the confines of this town.
I am well aware of that, Professor. I am aware of a phone call being made this instant by your mayor to the commander of the Illinois State Guard.
If you're smart, you'll return to your ship and your planet.
My ship is destroyed. I could instruct you to build a new one, of course. But as I have no intention of leaving...
Then you will be destroyed.
No. I will destroy first.
Have you no conscience?
A conscience is a fifth-order failing. Needless begging. Good evening.
Hello, Professor Tomlin. Yes. Yes, I will.
Who was it?
The mayor and the chief of police have called a meeting of the citizens of Brentwood at the college gymnasium tonight.
Ansel, you're not going.
I must.
But no...
Helen, there's much more at stake here than my life or yours. Civilization itself depends upon our standing up to this machine. I'm going to the meeting.
Gentlemen, as mayor of Brentwood, I call this meeting to order. As you know, there is loose in our city a being with one purpose, to prepare it for conquest by similar beings. I think Professor Tomlin can tell us most about this being.
If we could determine the source of George's power, he might be overcome. He is obviously vulnerable to force, such as a speeding bullet if it hit the right spot. However, he has the ability to read intent long before the commission of an act. He is probably listening to me now, even though he may be far away.
Now, Mr. Mayor, why not track him down and all attack at once? Some of us would probably die, but he couldn't strike us all dead at once.
Gentlemen, this humanoid is able to keep track of several hundred things simultaneously. As a matter of fact...
Gentlemen. You are working yourselves up. You simply do not appreciate what it would mean to dedicate yourselves to the fulfillment of the seventh order destiny. Your lives will be made most pleasant and happy by us.
Yeah, why did you kill 6 cops?
If you're so powerful, bring them back to life.
How do you want to be buried, Robot?
Yeah, let's get them, man.
And eyewitnesses report that in the end, when all were gone, George of Xanthar stood alone on the platform of the gymnasium. There was no movement except the twitching of the dead and those trampled by the crowd. Among the survivors was Professor Ansel Tomlin, who originally...
Well, that's that.
What next?
I don't know, Helen. I don't know.
Oh, well, what's that?
Sounds like an air raid alert.
That's peculiar. They didn't announce it.
Turn on the radio. Hurry.
We interrupt to bring you a special message. All residents of Brentwood are advised to go to their basements or convenient bomb shelters. The governor has announced that units of the National Guard have managed to corner the robot, George of Xanthar, in the town square.
Oh.
Tanks and mortars will be used in an attempt to destroy the creature. Again, go to your nearest bomb shelter.
Oh, did you hear?
They'll never be able to destroy him.
Well, where are you going?
Up to the roof.
The roof?
I can see the square from there.
Well, I'm coming with you.
Just as you like. vaporizing every tank and gun they bring up.
Oh, Ansel, let's get away from here. Oh, what's that?
Those are Army jets. We'll see how effective he is now. Good Lord, a whole squadron up in smoke. It's no use. Can't you see? It's no use.
Ansel, come inside, please.
Very well.
Oh, if only there was something we could do to tell
Not
him.
as long as he can read our every conscious thought before we can act.
What is it?
Our every conscious thought. I wonder.
What is it,
Nothing.
Ansel?
Nothing, Helen.
And the Army reports that the countryside around Brentwood is deathly still. The blue humanoid, George of Xanthar, is still standing in the middle of the town square, where he's been standing for 3 days now. We'll keep you informed of developments. The military urges everyone to keep calm and go about your business as usual. There is no danger to anyone who is not attacking the humanoid.
No danger. That's to keep more of them from landing. Ansel, are you going to sit there with your head in your hands forever? Well, come have some dinner. Ansel?
Yeah, it might work.
Where are you going?
Washington.
What?
I'm going to Washington. Would you be good enough to pack my overnight bag? I can catch a plane out of Chicago in about 2 hours.
But why? What for?
I'm going to talk to the Pentagon.
What do you tell them?
I'm going to tell them to surrender to George of Xanthar.
Our microphones are here at the edge of the town square in Brentwood, Illinois today, ladies and gentlemen, to witness the most unusual spectacle of modern history. A discussion of terms whereby the United States of America may surrender to the humanoid George of Xanthar. For the occasion, an honor guard of 22 servicemen from all branches and all parts of the country has been chosen. In just a moment, the honor guard will accompany General of the Army's Walter Pitt, who will discuss the surrender. The honor guard is advancing to the edge of the square. The robot is standing there now, carefully eyeing the soldiers. Every ounce of his concentration seems to be going into it. Actually, we're told his telepathic circuits are probing their minds for some hint of danger. A thought, a flicker of an eyelash may be sufficient for him to vaporize all of them. General Pitt is about to speak.
George of Xanthar,
I hear you, General.
I have been instructed to consult with you about your intentions toward our country and the world in general, with a view to reaching some sort of agreement with you and others of your kind who you say will invade the earth.
May I approach?
One moment. I perceive no intent to harm you. There is one man among your soldiers, however, who has an illogical thought. Will the soldier who is thinking the thought, 11 o'clock, step closer?
Do as he says.
Does 11 o'clock mean anything to you, soldier?
It's running through my mind,
What
but
are
it don't
they?
mean a thing to me.
My examination of your thoughts tells me you
Box, the red box with the shells.
very well.
I don't know
We
what we
will
got on bar.
proceed with the talk.
I don't know either.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Set them up
tense
there somewhere.
moment. The general and the humanoid are discussing terms. The soldier who was questioned about the thought, 11 o'clock,
They are.
has stepped back into the ranks and is holding his rifle at attention like the others. I perceive it's now 10:59 a.m. If there is any significance to the thought about which the soldier was questioned, we'll know in 1 minute.
We of Xanthar, gentlemen, would not want to improve a planet which could not be educated and would continually oppose our program. Therefore, I am glad to see your willingness to discuss. After my message goes out, there will be a landing party on Earth within a few days. While waiting for the party, however, there are certain preparations.
just list them for us?
Your government will naturally have to turn over complete authority to us. Afterwards, we will utilize your press and radio to disseminate our instructions to your people. Simultaneously in other nations, the same procedure will be carried out by our
Ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. At exactly 11 a.m., 10 soldiers in the honor guard instantaneously fired their weapons into George of Xanthar. Apparently explosive bullets have...
meant for it to, like...
The remains are lying scattered all over the square.
I forgot to do the sub version. I was going to do half and half so that they could merge easier. I'll fix that later, though.
Ansel, you're home.
Yeah.
Oh, you've heard the news. Isn't it wonderful?
Wonderful, really wonderful. I'm sorry I couldn't come home sooner. It would have spoiled my whole plan if I got within telepathic range.
Your plan?
Yes.
But what? How?
Just a matter of simple psychology. Those men in the honor guard.
What about them? Did you know any of them?
Not exactly, but I did have the job of hypnotizing 10 of them.
Hypnotized?
That's right. You see, each of those men was hypnotized. And while he was under, we planted a post-hypnotic suggestion, namely, to fire at George of Xanthar when a soldier named Charlie started to cough. Charlie was told to cough at 11 o'clock. Before we released them from hypnosis, we told them to erase everything from their conscious memories. I was staking everything in the hope that George could only tune in on the conscious mind, not the subconscious, and it worked.
Oh.
Yeah, there was nothing to be reached by George's prying mind, so he never knew what was going to happen. At 11 o'clock, the soldier named Charlie coughed. The men raised their guns and fired. And that was the end of George of Xanthar. Now, if you don't mind, I've got some exam papers tomorrow.
On a planet many millions of miles away, a red light, one of many on a giant control board, suddenly winked out. A blue humanoid made an entry in a large book, System 29578. Planet 3 inhabited. Too dangerous for any kind of development. You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features the Alan Cogan story titled In the Cards. It was one thing to safeguard the future, but something else to see someone you love cry in terror 2 years from now. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Seventh Order, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Jerry Soule and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were James Monks, Nelson Olmsted, Kate Wilkinson, James Rafferty, Dick Hamilton, Reese Taylor, Jim Stevens, Robert Hastings, Wayne Chappelle. The commentator was W.W. Chaplin. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The Wonderful World of Robert Benchley on Biography and Sound tonight on NBC Radio.
So the sub and the robot sub are all one note? I don't even know how you would do that. Okay, I'm going to have to look at that. Because I do not understand that. I'm about to have to take a break and go get breakfast. I haven't eaten yet. File won't work. It says I'm missing images. It's got the bones. It doesn't have the images. Okay. Let's try that again. Hey, cookies. Okay, that's what I did wrong. Cookies, we were painting some stuff. I think we're going to do some animation now. Let me move that over, Clem. This was the robot sub. Hot diggity darn. Looks good, Clem. So, Cookies, how are you doing this fine day? Ooh, you're animating? Nice. It messes up after 600? How bizarre, how bizarre. Cookies, do you broadcast? I assume you do. I'm gonna follow you so I can check out your animation later. So tell us about yourselves. You friends with Clem's? Technically, it doesn't even need to transform all that far. I wasn't sure if it would be easier to have the sub do it. So how did you set all of this up under one thing? So that, I can do that instead of, because I was cloning it. I guess I clicked new entry instead of cloning it. Hey there. Thanks for the follow. I assume that was a follow. Why is my browser stuff not working? Clone new animation. Okay. But when I clone new animation, it's like completely blank. Let me try and figure this out. Yeah, that's what I did. That's how I was doing the other ones. So, why was it bringing up, like... I don't see the difference of what I did. Was it because I was cloning alpha instead of the animation itself, possibly? That may have been what I was doing. Yep, that's what I was doing. Okay, I got it now, Clem. I would just clone the directory, which would put it in, and then I would change it instead of just cloning something in the directory. Alright, I got you, Clem. We're on the same page. Not bad. People give me credit for being smarter than I really am, Clem. So, Cookies, I'm assuming you and Clem know each other, yes? Have y'all seen... Clem, did I show you some of the art for the other stuff I have in mind for it? For the boss fight? And Cookies, it's always nice to meet fellow animators. You don't know Clem? Clem's a good guy. He's a programmer and an artist. Yeah, we're working on a submarine game. And here's some of the other stuff. I think you've seen this, Clem, I'm not sure. It's impressive, Clem. Yeah, submarine game. That's right. It's going to be a side-scrolling game. Yeah, I've been working as a game developer for a long time. We do mainly educational games. We did one big app game. Here's some of my watercolor stuff. We also do comic books and board games, like tabletop board gaming, stuff like that. I also do 3D modeling for minis. I'll show you the minis we're working on at the moment. Here's the latest print. It's one of our Berserkers. I modeled it in Blender from scratch. I don't use base figures like some people do. And here are these little delicate elves that I'm struggling with painting at the moment. Clem's the smart one. He's a programmer. I'm just the art monkey. So, Cookies, what type of stuff do you do? Tell us about yourselves, why don't you? It really is. But they look cool when they're all on the field. It sure is fun playing these games with people. We do, I don't know, a convention every other month, I guess. We got another one coming up in a few weeks. We're running the gaming area. Azalea CityCon in Mobile, Alabama. We did Pensacon this year too, which is like 30,000 people. It was fun, but tiring. I'm feeling pretty recharged at the moment. We just got back from Florida for vacation. I guess I could go check out your Twitch link, huh? I like the little monkey. Oh yeah, your animation's awesome. Clem, if you get a chance, go check out. I got something to show you, Cookies. Hold on. I got to show you one of our kaiju. Nice. Oh, your work's really good. With the monkey theme, though, let me show you one of the kaijus we made. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm also an art teacher by trade. It's my day job. I'll be back. Oh, I've been sitting down too long. This is for a game called Life After Kaiju. Should be coming out in about another 1.5 or 2 years. Roar. He's one of the more heroic ones. He's got ice powers that are based off of the skull of his ancestors. I know, right, Cookies? Roar. Let me go set him up. I'll show you our shark kaiju too. He's fun. Nice. Here's our shark kaiju. I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, so I love aquatic stuff. Can I set you at that you'll be safe? And then here's our generic giant lizard. You have to have one in any kaiju game. Thanks, Clem. Roar. Yeah, the shark's my personal favorite. For sure. And click on your link. Your little VR monkey guy is cool. He's got a very Monkey King kind of vibe. Oh, you did an IRL stream? I tried to do one from our vacation, but it didn't. We didn't have a good enough internet connection.
Hi, chat. Give me the chat. Show chat. Where am I showing it from?
Sorry, Cookies, I'm lurking on you.
Oh, fuck, bloodsuckers.
Where are you based out of, if you don't mind me asking?
How do I see my fucking chat buds? Right.
Yeah, that's what
So
I
show
picked
my
up
screen.
on, Cookies.
I'll be able to draw.
Our family on my mom's side were Cochranes. Came over from Ireland. My grandfather was
showing us the view for
immigrant.
now. See if it works.
Ed Cochrane.
Internet seems good.
Beautiful land.
Good morning, everybody. I'm up here at the middle of fucking nowhere. The Gap is known.
The Gap.
I'm testing a stream out
Yeah,
because
mom's side of the family is Irish and
I wanna
Spanish, and then dad's side of the
show you
family
all
is
the
Cajun
trick.
Creole. So on that side, it's everything but Asian blood.
A week up at the moment. Well,
I tried to correct that for my kids, but all of my
but
Vietnamese friends thought I was going to be poor because I was an artist, so they wouldn't date me.
Hoping to get it all done by the end of the day and start working on the animation part by the end of this week, hopefully. See, place my friend's grandparents.
Ah, that I don't know. Cookies, I'll have to ask my mom. Yeah, I like to broadcast around our lake a lot too. People get a kick out of it, seeing, where you're from, seeing new areas. We got, our neighbor has a sheep herding dog that's always over here. Our dog is a weird, Canadian duck dog. They always go play together. That, the sheep herding dog, though, it's the fastest dog I've ever seen in my life. He's like a little bullet running around. Back in the 90s, I worked for a company called Art of Science, and they had me as a texture mapper. We did like 3D animation for commercials and like B-rated movies, stuff like that, like cheesy stuff. And after that, I moved into comic books, which I realized pretty quickly is probably gonna not make such a good living in comics. So went into education, and at that time we started making games. And then when we started doing educational games is when we started making a decent profit. A lot of the projects I do, though, I do for the love of it. Like, our board games and our war games don't make too much money, but they sure are fun to run. On Wednesdays, we're going to start doing our games, live games again. We spent a good chunk of this summer redoing our garage into a game room for role-playing. Yeah, that's it. He says, yeah, I feel like some people in my audience are workaholics, never get outside. They like IRL trekking and fishing streams. So you fish. That's great. I do mainly freshwater fishing, but we do a little bit of saltwater fishing down here living on the Gulf Coast. But largemouth bass, usually what we're after. And sometimes catfish when we're just want something to eat. There you go. I don't know. It's growing up working for Art of Science. I got paid really well when I was doing the texture mapping. And I want to make sure that my wife doesn't want for the basic necessities. So I'm always pretty aware of, what I'm doing for fun and what I'm doing to pay the bills. But my teaching job, it gets me covered. And I'll be able to retire from that in 3 years and just focus on my fun projects after that. So that'll be good. Trout fishing? Yeah. No joke. I like fly fishing, but we don't have the right streams for it here. So I usually get out on a canoe in the middle of the lake and I fly fish from there for bass and sometimes brim. I would dearly like to go trout fishing, though. I think that would be fantastic. No, the only bait that we really have a limitation on are treble hooks. That I can think of, at least. Why are they banning spinners? And the treble hooks can be on a lure. They just can't be like a lone treble hook. And then a lot of places you can't run like trout lines and stuff like that. Yeah, I could see that. That's why they don't like the single treble hooks. I have all my stuff to tie flies here, but I've never actually done it. I actually use it mainly for holding minis. That's right, Clem. Minks are picking them up, huh? We don't have minks here. We got gators. I gotcha. Yeah, so I go out on the in the water on a canoe and just stand on the canoe and fish. Matter of fact, I need to do that. My dog's been wanting to get out. My dog's funny because he can go out anytime he wants, but he wants me to go out with him. And my wife, if we don't go out, he pouts. We just got back from Orange Beach. It's on the Florida-Alabama line. And they had just caught their first great white shark from the beach ever there. A little over 10 foot. It was huge. I didn't get a chance to fish while we were there, though. The place we were staying at, we fish at, but they came in and did maintenance and they painted like a wall, and the clear coat, the smell from the clear coat made the entire place unlivable. So they moved us to another room at a different hotel, which was nice because it was on the beach side, but we were on the bay side where we could have fished. So we got to play in the ocean, but we didn't get to fish. Clem, Monica had a blast, by the way. The waves were so high I had to hold her hand. And they were knocking us all over. My ankles and my knees are still killing me from that workout. Here, I'll show you Rusty. He's, what? Some kind of troller or totter? Up, come on. Up, jump. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Up. We got you. Come on. Oh. There you go. Say hi to everybody. This is Rusty Dog. He destroys all the mice and the rats and the moles that come into the yard. Runs off the armadillos and hosts all the dog parties. We've got a golden lab that comes over. I know, he's pretty chill. He missed us. We were gone for a few days. He's the good boy. He's nice to the cats because they told him not to run off the cats. He loves swimming. I've trained him for swimming. I've got different commands. Like he knows commands for swim next to you. He knows the command when you're going to let him on your shoulder. If you tell him to go into land, he'll go in and wait for you. And we collect driftwood. So anytime I hold up a piece of driftwood, he'll come grab it and take it back on shore for me. Oh, nice. Sheepdog? Yeah. Yeah, he has a sheepdog that that comes over almost every day, named Cooper. Little black and white pretty dog, once at Fastable. He's got a golden retriever that's his girlfriend that comes over. And there's this little poodle thing called Milo. I don't like Milo, but Milo comes over. Rusty loves attention. He loves when we have people over. When we host parties. I don't think Rusty's ever seen a cow. We have plenty around here. It's just I don't let them around cows or horses. I don't trust. Mainly, I don't trust horses. You having a good day, Rusty? Now that you got your mom and dad back, everybody's back home. That's true, Cookies. Rusty's a nice medium-sized dog. His girlfriend's a big girl. They play fight all the time. And Rusty tries his best to keep up with her. We got Buck next door, which is a hound, big old hunting dog. He comes over sometimes and hangs out. Rusty doesn't like him around his girl, though, so eventually he runs him back home. Oh yeah, Rusty was crazy hyper back in the day when he was a puppy. Crazy hyper. He's a lot more chill these days. He'll still play though when you get him worked up. Arr, 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 arr. There he goes. He's ready to go out and swim. He's like, let's go swim. Let's go swim. Alright. Back to being chill, boy. Monica's fixing some sausage. Maybe a little bacon and eggs, too. Wakey, wakey, bigs and achy. Boy. Ah, the food's done?
Yeah.
You want to say hi to everybody, Monica?
Hey!
You almost got to see her. Well, I think I'm going to go enjoy this down by the lake. Oh no, he jumped in the water with you? That's funny. Thanks, Clem. I'm gonna go eat down by the water, Michelle, and then I'm gonna be back later to paint more minis. Clem, I can't wait to see what you do with the animations I sent you. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. When you get those up and running and it's gonna work, then I'll start sending you the enemies. And then once we get the enemies done, I'll start sending you environments. I've got a lot of ideas for the backgrounds. It's going to be good stuff. Thanks, Cookies. It was nice meeting you. I'm definitely going to come check out your streams. And I'll be back on later. John's supposed to be coming over. John does the 3D printing with us, and he's also another game designer. So maybe we'll be able to get him on stream too. Alright. See you later.